Thank you, thank you. I'm not your average human, as you can see. But obviously there's more to the story besides this smile. But let's get to that later. The year 2020 turned everyone upside down. There was news of a pandemic that was surely going to happen, since they were broadcasting early January about a new virus running rampant. We then went into lockdown. Anxiety, uncertainty, and isolation increased depression and decreased one's self-worth. What am I doing to help? Why do I feel so helpless? Am I good enough? The year 2020 also accounted for 3,139 Australians who took their lives by suicide. Statistics show that 52% death by suicide were aged 30 to 59. That's a high statistic that we can surely bring down. What did you guys do through those turbulent years to be where you are today? I have found that a simple smile helped me get me through my world's toughest journey. My world is my world. Let's wind back into the early 90s in Sydney, Australia. I was just like a young kid. I'll go to my friend's house and play Super Nintendo. We'll bike ride to the corner store to get a lolly or two. Fast forward a few years later, that bike riding turned into mountain biking, into the wilderness, tackling the steep rocky hills, knowing that with every stride I take was adrenaline bringing me up that one step further. During that time, that adrenaline also rolled into something that I also found: alcohol. It was a way to socialize, as I thought. You go to your friend's house, have a party, you drink a lot, a beer here, a scotch here, and you have a laugh about it. That was my social gathering throughout those years. Until December 2012. I was heading to a nightclub where the music was playing, the energy was high. I was having the time of my life. A vodka here, a Johnny there, a Grey Goose there. I woke up to a white ceiling and a white bed. To my right, I see my mother and brother. The funny thing was, I asked them to remove my socks, to which they replied, "Khoa, you've got no legs." To put it into context, I was involved in a high-speed car collision. 150 k's into a telegraph pole, which took the life of the front passenger and caused severe brain damage to the driver. I was the lucky one in an unfortunate scenario. I was still drugged up in the hospital, so I looked down the draped sheets where my legs used to be, and I shrugged it off. I supposedly accepted it straight away. It wasn't until a couple of days later while in ICU, I wanted to use the toilet and the bed was raised up with the rails down. I shuffled to the side of the bed and I was on the ground. The nurses ran in and said, "What are you doing? I wanted to use the bathroom, but you can't." To which I replied, "I think I know that now." That was the realization that I did lose my legs. All these negative thoughts started to come into me. How can I walk again? How can I drive again? How can I live again? I was tied down with an anchor. I was drowning. All these thoughts while in ICU kept me down. I was depressed. I didn't know what to do. What would a guy with no legs be in this world? Nothing. But my muscles, the muscles that you have on your face, it turned the other way around. Specifically, my frown started to turn to a smile. Once that happened, I realized that my Khoa wasn't lost. I started to see the brighter side of life. I didn't see the can'ts. I started to see the cans. I started to put more influence in the positive things of life. How can I walk? How can't I walk? I can't drive. I can drive. It took me 9 hours to drive from Sydney to Melbourne here. And I got a busted back. In torrential rain too. How can I live again? I am living. Sharing my positive energy. My smile that has never gotten away from me since I was born. My true value to share to the world. That one gesture that we, all of us, has, and it only takes an opposite direction to inspire others, whether they might be going through a harrowing day, they might have broken up, we don't know. By giving a simple gesture from that person across the road, even if you don't know them, you don't need to know them. That positive assertion can brighten up their world. And it will be a knock-on effect, just like the light in a tunnel. We can always be that light to brighten up the darkness that is sometimes plagued in this world, as we all, as a collective, in 2020 experienced. So what I'd like you guys to take away is just to always smile. Always look at the positive side of life. Wherever your situation may be, always exert happiness. Because the recipient will feel that, and that recipient will share it, hence lighting up that darkness in the tunnel. Thank you very much.